What's going on, guys? King Raven here, coming at you with another video today. Big shout out to the Lefty Pass Around group for letting me check out these knives. Today we've got 4 awesome Rike knives. I've not had a lot of Rike knives in on the channel, so it's been really cool to check these out. Now this is not an unboxing. I've had these in. I've been using them. I've got my impressions on them, and I'm going to share my thoughts and do the comparisons with you today. But before we get into today's video, y'all give me a like. Leave a comment. At the end of the video, there'll be a little subscribe button. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the notification bell. And check out another video that I have linked. It all helps my channel, and I greatly appreciate it. Y'all follow me over on Instagram at Shield Arms. Now let's flip this camera around and get into today's video of 4 Rike knives. Okay guys, so like I said, we've got 4 Rike knives in. So we're going to go through these and I'll talk about each one, and then we'll do a couple of comparisons with all 4 of them, and then bring in a couple of comparison knives to sort of show you where they go size-wise. So let's get into this video. We're going to start here and go this. Now, I put these in order so far of what has been my favorite of these Rike knives. So, all of these knives, one thing they have in common is they're all in M390. So let's start off, move this to the side. Let's start off with this first one. What do we have here? This is the Rike Alien 1. It's in black titanium and Bowler M390. Okay, so let's take a look at, now this, when they say alien, they mean alien. Now all these knives are incredibly well made. This is black titanium. Look at all the different milling work and all the different, they literally made it scaffold almost like a alien's back. It's ridged, it's got the holes in the side, really big pivots that just sort of stick out there. And what's cool with this knife and everything, pocket clip with the detent ball. This has a special type of blade. Now, I have to admit, this takes a little bit getting used to on flipping it and everything. It's more of a top flipper, front flipper, but you can't go front up here. I tried to go front up here and everything. The very first time I flipped this knife, this sucker bit me in 2 different places. So just be careful. I have to go further back here, and still, sometimes you get it. Sometimes people who can do the reach around, it works a lot better. But hold on, let's see here. Can I get it? Can I get it under the camera? Yep, I did. This has an awesome blade that is wicked thin and sharp. M390. Now, I know in the craze of like the replaceable utility knives, this is not really in that category and everything. The blade is removable, but it's not like you're throwing away and replacing it with a razor blade. These are M390 blades, so this can be resharpened and everything. And this is a wicked thin, sharp blade. Besides that, it comes with a serrated blade one. And these are more of what you would call like a chisel grind. So it's got the sharpen and the bevel on this side and flat on this side. So with that type of grind, these edges come wicked thin. So you've got a serrated, scallop serrated blade that you can swap. That's M390. Or you can do the straight edge. Now the straight edge is not chisel grind. It actually has a bevel on both sides. But very sharp, very easily to use like a utility knife. The only, and it's a liner lock, well made titanium handle. The only thing I wish, I would have preferred some thumb studs. This is just a little bit more difficult for me. I've learned to get it most of the time, but the deployment on this is not the best because I'm not the best at the top over flipping where you reach around the top and pull it back like this. I'm just not the best at it. So that is the Rike Alien. Really cool knife. Now, up next, we have the Rike Cicada. Dark gray titanium integral with M390. What this reminds me of is like the Best Tech QQ, where they did that little aluminum handle button operated lock only. This to me feels like almost like a premium version of that. I know it's completely different, but anything, this has that similar like little bug shape and everything, and they've made this look like a cicada on both sides. Now the difference with this is still a button lock, and you can operate it with the button, which is my preferred method, but it also has this reach around and top flipper or front flipper where you can get, now there's no pocket clip, so you got to get your fingers on that little texturing with the wings and everything and flip it out like that. But you have a very daggery, now it's not sharp on this top, so you can put your finger there and use for draw cuts and stuff, this is actually a very useful knife and everything. But, and it's sharp on this side, M390, very nice edge, very pokey tip, so the draw cuts with the tip very easily. Now, this is, you're opening packages, you're cutting tape and stuff like that. This is not a hard use and everything, which most pocket knives aren't designed to be hard use, but some are harder use than others. Button operated, very smooth. You can deploy that button and actually deploy the knife like a traditional button lock, and then let it swing. So great action whether you're using the button lock or the flipper. But with me being a double amputee, just like I said on the QQ, this is a perfect style knife because it's so thin, and with it being an integral, makes it extremely easy for maintenance and stuff like that. But it's just great in hand, and with it being so small and shaped like it is, I could slide this in my wheelchair bag, take it out, mash the button, flip out that blade, do a cut, hit the button, slip it right back in the wheelchair bag. It works great as a wheelchair knife and everything. So this is excellent. But you could do the same thing. You could say the same thing about putting it in a fifth pocket. This works great as a fifth pocket companion knife. So this is the Rike Cicada. Very fun, very well built, integral M390 blade. All right, number 3, what do we got? Now, this was tough. These final two, I like these so much. I couldn't decide which order to put these in. So, yes, I put them in 2 and 1. They could be flip-flop. You could call this a tie. This is the Cybertrix. Plain titanium bowler M390. This knife is fantastic. Check out this. This has a very futuristic angular design to it. It almost appears like an integral, but it's not. That is one huge back spacer, and the way that they put it in there with that little square there and that little design, and then of course you've got the little tab that sticks out on the end. Really cool design. And then these thumb studs work awesome. Flip that out, and you've got a Tanto uh, reverse sheep's foot almost. Very weird how to say the description on this blade, because you've got a secondary point, so you can use that secondary point. You've got a primary point, and because it's sort of like a sheep's foot, it drops very low, so that's the primary one that you can use. Matter of fact, when you're doing those draw cuts, you're using the whole, usually from the tip all the way, most of this flat that's up here. You're doing the push cuts, you're hitting this grind right here, which is excellent. This knife, even though it looks wild and looks very unique, futuristic, and angular and stuff, is super functional. Great in hand. Tremendous in hand. That pocket clip, don't feel it's long. It's very thin. Stuff like that, I don't feel it at all. I can bear down. I can squeeze. I've got medium-sized hands and everything. This, I get well more than a full forefinger. I can squeeze this, and I don't feel it at all. So this knife with this handle is super comfortable, and this blade shape has been tremendously functional. It might look like it's not, but it is. And the action on this, because it's an inset liner lock, you don't have to worry about where you put your fingers, and the access to that liner is perfect. It just drops and smooth. I mean, snappy thumb studs and just drop smooth. That Cybertrix, this has been a great knife. I really, really like this knife. All right, now last but not least, we have the Rike Lamella, dark gray and plain titanium in Bowler M390. Now this knife is very super cool. This knife right here is another very wild looking. You've got laminella right up there. Nice curved pocket clip with the pocket clip ball. And if you notice, you don't see any screws. That's because this has this click where you push this up, and then you can take off this back spacer and stuff like that to reveal the knife under, to get to the places and stuff underneath. It sort of, once you click it, slides up, and there's your screws, there's your pivot. That's an awesome way of doing this to keep it very clean. And see, you've got the tabs and everything like that. It's not loosey-goosey sliding around. This is a very securely, very well-made knife. But if you need to access the pivot or disassemble your knife for cleaning, you can easily just pop that up and take off that back spacer. But when you have it down, it makes a super clean exterior on this knife. And these thumb studs, the way they're stepped like that, are awesome. It's got a flipper tab, but these thumb studs, awesome. And look at that blade. A very Persian style upswept trailing point. You've got a full of this is an inset liner lock, which I love to see. Did you see that action? It's outstanding. Check out this flip tab. Fires with either the thumb stud or the flipper tab, and then you clear that, and it just, whoo, like, I mean, butter. Super smooth. Great choke up spot up here. Now, because it's a trailing point, if you're wanting to use that tip, you're going really high up. It's the belly that makes this a slicer. So, whether you're back here or choked up, your cutting with that belly is tremendous. Excellent cutting power. Very cool knife. I'll show a knife in my personal collection that reminds me of this particular knife right here. So let's check out all these knives together. First we got the Lamella. Let me zoom out just a little bit, make sure we can get everything in on the camera. The Lamella. Then we have the Cybertrix. We have the Cicada. And then we have the Alien. Let's do some comparisons. Let's do some standard comparisons. We're going with the Spyderco Para 3. And for a bigger knife, let's do the Spyderco Shaman. So as you can see, the Lamella, the Cybertrix, these are full-size knives like the Shaman, where the Alien is very similar to your Para 3. Let's move the Para 3 out of the way, and let's bring in like just one more as far as this size comparison. The Demco 80-20.5. So your Cybertrix and your Lamella is definitely going to be larger than that. And then one that I was saying the Lamella reminds me of out of my collection is my Herman Ishtar, another Persian trailing point style blade. Except if you look between these two, the Ishtar and the Lamella has even a bigger swoop to it and everything. They both come to about the same on the top, but it just has like a deeper belly is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, a deeper belly, and it's got the choil so you can choke up. So if you like the vibe of the Ishtar, but it's out of your price range, look at the Lamella. You're going to get very similar vibes in hand between the Ishtar and the Lamella. Now, the Ishtar is a custom mid-tech style knife that is just top notch. It's hard to beat Herman knives. They are in a different category altogether. But if you're looking to scratch that Ishtar itch, but in a more production way that is still very clean and very awesome, the Lamella is the one to check out. So let's flip this camera around and wrap up today's video of these 4 Rike knives. Okay guys, so which of these 4 is your favorite? The replaceable blade, very alien design of the Alien. This would be my least favorite because it's just difficult for me to operate it, but that's a operator issue, not a knife issue. This is very well made knife, very cool knife. Would it be the Cicada, the titanium integral that is great for a 5th pocket or a wheelchair bag companion knife? Love this knife. Or would it be the futuristic angular design of the Cybertrix? Or the clean look and Persian upswept style of the Lamella? For me, I love the Cicada. It's awesome. But of these 4, it comes down to these 2. I would love to add both of these to my personal collection. These are outstanding. Since I have an Ishtar, if I had to choose between the two, I would go to Cybertrix for me. Because I don't have any knife that's like this in my collection, but this is occasion where I would add both of these. I can highly recommend any of these four. The build quality is outstanding, so you can't go wrong. So if you like the design of any four of these, go for it. I can recommend it. But out of these four and everything, me personally, Cybertrix would be the first, then the Lamella, because I do have an Ishtar. But if I didn't, it would probably be the Lamella, then the Cybertrix. Y'all, give me a like, leave a comment, hit the subscribe button, and click that notification bell. Check out this video. I think you might like it. Let me know in those comments which one you like the best, or do you like a different Rike knife. Follow me over on Instagram at Shield Arms. Y'all be safe out there. I'm King Raven, and I'll catch you in the next video.